Hey, and welcome back if you're returning. We are going to look at some Maesters in the Vale today. But before we go there, I did forget one in my last video, so thank you for pointing that out. And if I forget anyone in this one, please let me know and we'll include it in the next video. So, back up in the north, we have Maester Theomore, who was born Theomore Lannister, and he is a Maester in service to House Manderley at White Harbour. He is fat, rose-cheeked, and he has thick lips and a head of golden curls, those classic Lannister curls. He is said to be all head and no heart. In A Dance with Dragons, Theomore is present in the Merman's Court when Sir Davos Seaworth comes to treat with Wyman Manderley. Theomore dismisses Davos's claim that King Tommen is a bastard born of incest, stating it is a lie created by Stannis Baratheon to lay claim to the Iron Throne. Lord Wyman later reveals that he does not trust Theomore with his messages due to his relationship to House Lannister of Casterly Rock. One of the quotes we have from Wyman to Davos about Theomore is, "If Stannis wonders that my letters say so little, it is because I dare not even trust my maester. Theomore is all head and no heart. You heard him in my hall. Maesters are supposed to set aside old loyalties when they don their chains, but I cannot forget that Theomore was born a Lannister of Lannisport and claimed some distant kinship to the Lannisters of Casterly Rock." I mean, he is arguing the case of the Lannisters in court. Why would he say that it's a lie? What does he know? Was he there in their bedchambers? No, you weren't, Theomore. That's just a bit of Lannister loyalty. Right, so on to the actual kingdom that we're going to look at in this video, the Vale, and I could only find 3 maesters that we know have served here, well, named ones anyway. So there's Willaman Fry, who's a maester in the service at Longbow Hall, to House Hunter. He is the 17th son of Lord Walder Frey, and the 3rd within the marriage of Lord Walder and Bethany Rosby. Willaman took his maester's vows in 298 AC. Next, there's Helwag, and Helwag. Now, he is a maester in service at Runestone to House Royce. In A Feast for Crows, Maester Helwag's age, experience, and knowledge are given as reasons to why Lord Robert Arryn would be better off at Runestone than at the Eyrie, with the remaining maester we know of, and we know a little bit about him, Maester Coleman. He is a thin man with little hair and a long skinny neck. The apple of his throat is visible. Coleman is much taller than Lord Peter Baelish. I mean, he's not called Littlefinger for no reason. Coleman wears a threadbare grey cloak lined with squirrel fur. The chain worn by maesters hangs loose around his neck and clinks softly when he walks. Coleman is often nervous, especially in violent situations. He is considered to be a young maester by Pycelle and Lady Anya Wainwood. As a maester in the service to Jon Arryn, Lord of the Eyrie, Coleman stayed in King's Landing during Jon's time in the capital as Hand the King to Robert Baratheon. When Jon became ill with stomach pain, Coleman purged him with wasting potions and pepper juice. Pycelle, the Grand Maester at the Red Keep, sent Coleman away, but Lord Arryn's condition continued to worsen, and he soon died. After Jon's death, Coleman returned to the Eyrie with the rest of Lady Lysa Arryn's household, and to care for her son, Lord Robert Arryn. In A Game of Thrones, of course, Lysa, the start of it, she sent her sister Catelyn Stark a letter stating that Queen Cersei has killed Lysa's husband, Jon Arryn. Lysa, being a high-born lady, could have written this note herself, or she could have gotten a maester to do it. I mean, she would know how to write. Coleman, I mean, maybe he wrote it, who knows? Either way, he will have been the one to send it, and so would most likely know its contents. Lysa is quite an erratic lady, but, you know, she lets the maester care for her son, so maybe she did share her concerns with the maester. And the letter itself, the contents, are shifting the blame of the death from the maester to Queen Cersei, so why not let the guy know? Lord Eddard Stark, the new hand of the king, investigates the death of his predecessor, Lord John Arryn. Grand Maester Pycelle explains that he dismissed Coleman from treating John out of fears that the young Maester would have inadvertently killed his older patient. When Ned questions him about dismissing him, he says, "I did, and I fear the Lady Lysa will never forgive me that. Maybe I was wrong, but at the time I thought it best. Maester Coleman is like a son to me, and I yield to none in my esteem for his abilities. But he is young, and the young ofttimes do not comprehend the frailty of the older body. He was purging Lord John Arryn with wasting potions and pepper juice, as I feared he might kill him." Coleman and Sir Vardis Egan greet Lysa's sister, Lady Catelyn, upon her arrival at the Eyrie. When a letter from Sir Edmure Tully arrives to inform about the conflict between Casterly Rock and Riverrun, Coleman tells the sister's uncle, Sir Brynden Tully, about its contents. I mean, should he have shared information? I mean, Brynden does serve at the Eyrie, so yeah, I guess that's fine. Anxious about the upcoming trial by combat to determine the fate of Tyrion Lannister, Coleman drinks wine brought by Lord Eon Hunter. Coleman lets slip to Catelyn and Sir Roderick Cassell that John Arryn planned to send his son Robert to Dragonstone to be fostered by Stannis Baratheon. When Catelyn responds that Robert was supposed to be fostered at Casterly Rock, Coleman insists, no, John wanted to send him to Dragonstone. And this is an interesting one because it could be a case of stirring the pot, but I do believe that John Arryn would have trusted his maester and told him his true intentions. But then it could be a case that he's been then convinced by Lysa. Who knows? In A Clash of Kings, during his interrogation by Tyrion Lannister, when he was acting as Hand of the King, Grand Maester Pycelle reveals his belief that Queen Cersei Lannister had wanted Lord John Arryn dead. Coleman had been purging John to treat his sudden illness, so Pycelle sent Coleman away and allowed Lord Arryn's condition to worsen. Coleman, you were set up. Right. In A Storm of Swords, a shivering Coleman watches, for a little bit, as Elaine Stone, Sansa, builds a snow castle of Winterfell in the Erie's garden, and then little Robert Arryn comes over, has a tantrum, and, rips the doll. She rips the doll. Coleman provides half a cup of dream wine to calm the outraged boy, and Robert is taken to the Maester's chambers for a leeching to treat his shaking sickness. His reasoning for the leeching, as he says to Robert Arryn, is, "My lord, your blood needs thinning. It is the bad blood that makes you angry, and the rage that brings on the shaking." Bad blood. In A Feast for Crows, Coleman is present when Lord Peter Baelish welcomes Lord Nestor Royce and Sir Marwyn Belmore to the Eyrie. He is in attendance when Elaine Stone tells the visitors how Lady Lysa Arryn had been killed by her singer Marillion. A lie. It was Peter Baelish. When Lord Robert Arryn, upon hearing the tale, suffers another attack from his shaking sickness, a grim-faced Coleman has the boy taken back to bed so he can be bled. Coleman later gives Robert dream wine to help send him to sleep when the boy claims to hear Marillion singing in the night. That poor boy. Lord Robert is upset on the day when the Lords Declarant are to come to the Eyrie, and Maester Coleman is struck when the boy throws his bowl of porridge in anger. I love that bit. Coleman expresses his worries about the treatments he gives Robert, as the boy's spells have grown worse since his mother Lysa died. Peter orders him to add a pinch of sweet sleep to the boy's milk. During the parley with the Lords Declarant, Lady Anya Wainwood attempts to persuade Peter to send Robert to Runestone, where Lord Jon Royce's maester, Helwag, could treat Robert, claiming that Helwag is more experienced and better suited to treat Robert's frailties than Coleman. The day the inhabitants of the Eyrie are to descend to the Gates of the Moon in preparation for winter, Robert throws his chamber pot at Coleman and dirties his hair and robe. That's not nice. That's not nice. The Maester goes to Sir Lothar Brune, who informs Elaine. Robert complains to Elaine that Coleman had put something vile in his milk. He says, "I could taste it. I told him I wanted sweet milk, but he wouldn't bring me any, not even when I commanded it. I am the Lord. He should do what I say. No one does what I say." Poor sweet Robin. Just interrupting the video to say, this many of you watching have not subscribed. What's up with that? Subscribe. Coleman suggests giving Robert some milk of the poppy so the boy will slumber during the descent, but Elaine refuses the notion. She tells him instead to give Robert a cup of sweet milk, to which the Maester objects, fearing the poison is building up too much in Robert's blood. Coleman reveals that Robert's blood has grown so thin that he had begun to fear leeching the boy, and fears that the boy will bleed from the nose. When Elaine insists that Coleman should give Robert a cup of sweet milk before the descent, and one shortly after, Coleman insists that it must be the last cup for at least half a year. When Coleman accompanies Robert and Elaine down the Giant's Lands, he leads a mule laden with chests of herbs and potions. And in the sample chapter for the Winds of Winter, during the feast for the Brotherhood of Winged Knights at the Gates of the Moon, Elaine assumes that Maester Coleman has provided a strong dose of sweet milk to Lord Robert Arryn to keep the boy calm. Which is didn't you say you shouldn't have any more? But then what if Peter Baelish told him to? Ordered him to? Coleman seems to serve the Eyrie the best he can, but I think he's on a bit of a fine balancing act between serving the Lord, the Lord Regent, and the actual Lord, Little John Arryn. Sansa thinks that Coleman only wanted the best for his charge, Elaine knew. But what was best for Robert the boy and what was best for Lord Arryn were not always the same. Peter had said as much, and it was true. Maester Coleman only cares for the boy, though. Father and I have larger concerns. So she thinks that he cares for the boy. Isn't that what he's supposed to be doing? Did I forget anyone? Tell me your thoughts on Coleman. Is he poisoning the boy? Is he just balancing the best he can? I don't know what to make of it. So, which area should we do next? I'm thinking either the Riverlands or Pike. Also, I've hit 1,000 subscribers. Thank you guys. I think we should do a fun video as well. So I'm thinking wed, bed, and behead. Like a snog, marry, avoid. Yeah, let me know your thoughts. Have a good day. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on your notifications, and I'll see you next time. Cheerio.